Hey guys, it's Rochelle. It's April 18th, and on Monday the 14th, I did my neuropsychological evaluation. And I know a lot of people have been asking me about how that went, and a lot of people on the support groups that I go to online have asked me about what the experience was. So I thought I would get it out there for everyone. So we spent about an hour doing a history and doing an interview with Chris and myself, and that was okay. That was just medical history and talk about where I am and how everything happened. And then we went from 11 to 2:30, and we had about 20 minutes to break for lunch. I just brought my salad for lunch. That's easy enough. And the whole time we did testing. So one of the things that we did was go through things. It's called, my OT called it working memory, and the neuro doctor called it functional memory. So, but they're the same thing, right? So, I think I was reading something online this morning. I think it says it's housed in the frontal cortex. I'm probably not saying that right, but I didn't know about that because we know that my injury is in the Wernicke's area. So I'm not sure how it relates, but I'm sure that it has to do with everything. Anyway, so instead of going to do testing for lesser things, my OT already gave the doctor kind of a scenario, a summary about where I am. Since I'm already doing so well with my speech and a lot of other things, we could continue on and go at a higher level. So one of the things we did was that she gave me she read a list of 16 words. So the first time she did it, she read it, and I had to tell her, repeat back some of the words. I only had a couple right. Then by the time she read it the third time, I figured it out that we had groups of names, words. So that made it a little easier because I could group them in my head and say them that way. So by the time we got to the fifth time she said it, I was able to repeat all 16 words. Then she asked me to say the words that were in each category, and I think that took me 2 or 3 times to do. Not all in a row. She would stop and go to something else. So that was a little challenging. Then she gave me a list of words to read. And some of them they started easy and they progressed from there. About 3/4 of the way in, I had trouble pronouncing the words. So I would say 90% of the words I knew what they were. I just couldn't say them. And she said that was more of the apraxia, where I can't get the motion to I couldn't get the brain to coincide with my mouth to make the right sounds. So that was that was probably towards the end of the testing, and I'm guessing I was pretty tired by then, but we went through, and was okay, I guess. And then we did a puzzle where, you know, those if you have a kid, a baby, and you have that toy where it has like a spindle, and you put as a kid, I think it's just a cone, but you put like they look like donuts, and you put it up, and they're like larger than smaller than smaller than smaller. So it's like that. I'm guessing you get the idea. So I had to recreate a picture that she showed me, and she did some of the pieces that I had to put back on a different peg. There were 3 pegs, but I couldn't put them. I had to do one at a time, and you couldn't put a small one on top of the large. No, you couldn't get a large one. You couldn't get a small one and put it on top of no, you couldn't get a larger one and put it on a smaller one. Something like that. Anyway, but they were in a different order, so I couldn't figure out. The first 2 were easy because I didn't have to move anything. I could just put them where they had to be. So I could figure out how to do it from largest to smallest. Then I had to figure out how to do something else, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to do it. So, but then the doctor told me my strategy on how to do that, and then I was able to follow it. So I couldn't come up with my own strategy, but once she told me what I had to do, I could do it. The other thing that I had trouble with, that was part of the working memory, was word problems. So she would give me a word problem. I had 1 minute to answer each one, which normally is not a problem, right? You know, Billy has 5 apples. He gave his sister 2, and how many does he have? 3. That's easy. If there was more than 2 numbers, I could not figure out an answer in my head because I wasn't able to write anything down. I was not able to do it in the 1 minute time slot. So I had a handful of those that I missed. I said probably more than a handful. I don't even think we went through anything like subtraction or anything like that. I think it was just addition. There may have been easy multiplications, but I don't think I got them either. So those were challenging. I had to do another puzzle that had blocks, but it had a picture that I had to recreate, and I can do that. There was only one that I ran out of time, and that was because there was no outline for the blocks, so I was having trouble visually knowing which blocks, because there was the block just had red and white. Some, like half of it was red, the other half was white. One is all white, one was all red. So I was able to do that and recreate it. So I don't know. If anybody does have any questions about what to expect about the eval, I'm more than happy to answer your questions and make it more not as anxious for you. All right, so I think I'm gonna just take a break and go listen to some music and rest a little while before I do my homework. All right, have a great day, guys. Bye.